Hi Flosstube, welcome back to Cats and Horror and Stitching. My name is Caitlin, my pronouns are she, her, and it is November. It's been a while. The last episode I made was in September, so I missed the entire month of October, the entire spooky month, unfortunately. But this is episode 19, and I've got a lot of stuff to show you. I'm sorry that I was gone so long, but you know, life. And someday maybe I'll be able to get into the habit of making an episode for every second week, but so far that doesn't seem to be the case. I'm just always seem to be busy or tired or just unmotivated to do this, but I do enjoy coming on here and sharing with you, so I'm glad to be back. Yeah, so it is Sunday, November the 7th, and spooky season is over. And I had a great time for Halloween, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see my pictures. I was Morticia Adams. My daughter has been obsessed with Wednesday since the new Wednesday TV show with Jenna Ortega came out last year. So she's wanted to be Wednesday, talking about being Wednesday for Halloween all year long. And so because she's Wednesday, she decided I had to be Morticia. So you can check out those pictures on my Instagram, which is at Cats and Horror and Stitching Oh My, and I always link it down below. As well, another reason I haven't posted in a while was my trip to Greece. So I was in Greece the last week of September. I got back on October 1st. I had an amazing time. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, I did post some trip highlights. I would highly recommend Greece to anybody who's looking for a destination. If you've never been there before, it was wonderful. The weather was amazing. It was ridiculously hot, but still wonderful. And everyone in Greece, the people they're so friendly and helpful, and I don't think I met a rude person the entire time we were there. Everyone was just lovely and friendly and helpful, even if they couldn't speak English, because of course we couldn't speak Greek. Even if they couldn't speak English, we had so many people trying to help us in Greek, even with the language barrier, going out of their way to help us when we were lost, trying to find our Airbnb or a location for something we were visiting. It's a beautiful country. The food was amazing. The weather was amazing. The people are amazing. So I'm not going to go into too much about that unless you want me to. You can ask down below maybe in the next video, but it was a wonderful trip. It had been in the works, planning for almost a year. My best friend who I went with, Irina, it was our 40th birthdays this year. It was our trip. She's a doctor, so it's very difficult for her to obviously take time off with her practice, so it did have to be planned a year in advance. Over a year in advance, we had to pick the week we were going. So this was something to look forward to all year, and now it's over, unfortunately, which is really sad, but we had a blast, and I'm gonna try and plan another one maybe in I don't know, our 45th birthday. We joked about for our 50th birthday, but I don't think I want to wait 10 years, so maybe for our 45th. But anyways, so that's it for trips for this year, and big news for this year. I hope everybody had a wonderful Halloween. I loved seeing everybody's pictures of costumes and decorations and what everybody was stitching for the month of October. I did do some stitching in October, and I posted lots of pictures on Instagram. I just never got around to filming a Flosstube. But yeah, so I am back. I do have stuff to show you. Surprisingly, I do have quite a bit of stuff to show you. One of the reasons why I didn't end up making a floss tube 2 weeks ago, which I would usually do my 2-week, try to do my 2-week rotation, was because I really hadn't done a lot. The last time I made this video, I talked about going on my vacation. I tried to decide what I was going to bring craft-wise, because it was a really long flight flying to Greece from Ottawa, where I live. We flew to Toronto first, and then we flew to Athens, and from Toronto to Athens, flying there was almost a 10-hour flight, so which is tied with the longest flight I've ever taken before that. So I knew, and it was overnight, and I don't sleep on planes, so I knew I was going to need something to do. So I packed some stuff, but I wasn't sure how much time the rest of our trip I would have to do anything, and I really hummed and hawed about whether or not to bring any cross stitch to work on. I knew I would be on the plane for a really long time, but you know, the seats, you don't have a whole lot of room, so trying to sort out all my stuff, sorry, lots of hand gestures, sort out everything and keep everything in my lap on a plane for, you know, that long, I was really on the fence. I packed one project, and then at the very last minute, like right before I got picked up to go to the airport, I pulled it out. But no, you never mind. If again, on Instagram, one thing I did post was I decided to learn how to knit socks, and I sort of decided to do this because I thought this is a project I can do on the plane. It doesn't require a lot. I just need needles and yarn and a pair of scissors, and it's very small. I don't need a lot of space. I don't need a lot of stuff with me, and I thought it'd be an easy thing to carry. So I ended up going out. I bought my sock pattern. I got it from the Crazy Sock Lady. She's on YouTube, and I got her pattern off of Etsy. Actually, the first time I bought it, funny, not so funny story, I bought her pattern off of Ravelry, and then followed the tutorial on Etsy, YouTube. And then it's her vanilla sock, so just the basic sock. And I did work on it. I worked on my sock on the plane to and from, and a little bit during the time I was on vacation, but not very much. But 2 days after I got home from my vacation, I dropped my phone and it broke, and I lost everything on my phone, including all of my patterns. So I ended up repurchasing the same pattern from the Crazy Sock Lady, this time on Etsy, because I couldn't remember my Ravelry account password and sign in and everything. So yeah, that was fun. But anyways, so I'm going to show you my socks, but we'll start with cross stitching. That was a lot of talking. I hope I didn't bore anybody. Do you like my pin? I got this from my friend's birthday. The meme. This is fine. My friend had a 90th birthday party in October, so she gave away some little pins as party favors, and I took this one, and it's just been living on the sweater since then. So anyways, so cross stitch. I did do some cross stitching. The point of that really long story was I didn't do any cross stitching on my vacation. Sorry, I'm gonna fix my necklace. Just looking in the video and noticing it's all wonky. I didn't do any cross stitch on my vacation. And then I got a little obsessed with trying to do the socks. So I didn't do a ton the first half of October, but I did really want to work on some spooky stuff. And one thing I remembered was that I had found a, what is it called? Hang on. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, I'm back. One thing I had forgotten, I remembered in September, was I had gotten a Satsuma Street kit. I found this at Value Village. Value Village is a huge thrift store chain in Canada. $2, and it came with everything. All the beads, all the floss. Yeah, so I knew I wanted to work on that, and I did, and I finished it. So here it is. I did post this again. I posted this on my Instagram. Look at the shiny, it's really cute. I did mean to actually FFO it before Halloween. See my messy stitches. to put some kind of backing and making it an ornament to go on my Halloween tree. But I only finished it, I think it was like the Friday before Halloween, like a week before Halloween, and the weekend before Halloween I was throwing my annual Halloween party, so most of that week was just taken up with cleaning and shopping and getting my Halloween costume completed and all of that stuff, and I just didn't end up having time. But it is done, so for next year, all it needs is a backing and a string or something. But yeah, this was really fun. It was my first time doing an ornament and beading. It was also my first time actually beading, so it was nice to do something that was really simple and small. It was easy. It was a fun little kit, and I mean, you can't go wrong for $2. I don't know how much these cost new, but, or well, it basically was new, but I don't know how much these cost from the store, but $2, can't go wrong with that. So that's one finish for October. And then my second finish I also posted on Instagram, and this was one of my WitchyStitcher pieces that I bought for Stitchy for Witchy. And this is Horror, Sweet Horror. I even remembered to put my initials and the year down there. Can you believe that? I never ever remember to do that. This is just on a piece of 16 count Aida called Haunted from Picture This Plus, which I got from 123 Stitch. It is an enormous piece. So this is how big it is. So yeah, I have a lot of fabric left over, and I just need a frame or something, probably a frame, and then it will be hung up in my basement, in my TV horror movie themed basement. So yeah, yay, fun. So I didn't do a lot. I had planned on doing, well, I did Stitchy for Witchy, but I had planned on doing the WitchyStitcher-a-thon. I did 2 of the 3 pieces that I bought. I do still want to do the other one, which was the quote from Vincent Price. What is it? It is as much fun to scare as to be scared. And I do have my fabric for that. I just never got around to starting it. And as well, I told a story about breaking my phone. I had all my downloads from the Chopping Mall and all my downloads from the Supernatural Sal, again, saved on my phone and nowhere else. So I was able to re-log in to the Chopping Mall Sal on the WitchyStitcher's website, so I managed to get that. I'm gonna have to contact her and see if I can get the downloads again for the rest of the Supernatural Sal. She is lovely, Meg. It does say on her website if there's a problem with a purchase, just to email her. So when I lost everything on my phone, I had lost the Horror Sweet Horror, my Trick or Treat Crew, and the Vincent Price quote, which I had just purchased. A lot of times when I purchase things, most of the time I try to print it out to have a physical copy, as well as having it on my phone or on my computer. Those ones I just had not gotten the chance to print out yet, so they were gone. I couldn't, so in the email I had from her website, the WitchyStitcher website, confirming the purchases, I replied and just said, you know, my phone broke, I lost these, is there any way that I can get them again? And she's lovely, and she sent me the downloads again, which was great. And so I'll have to do that for the Supernatural guys, because I still have a few left, and now I don't have the patterns. But so I didn't really work on either Supernatural or my Chopping Mall Sal during Stitchy for Witchy. I guess it's still ongoing, right? We're just going to continue doing that for Meg. But I didn't get to work on them during October. So unfortunately, I did, however, one of my whips that I did work on, but not finished, was the Stitch for Sage. Didn't do a whole lot, but I did work a little bit more on my Witches and Demons woodcut. So down in the corner, you can see the demon's leg. I did that, and then the lower corner. So I did work on it a little bit. It looks amazing. I love it on this fabric. This is a fabric, this is hand dyed by Rolanda. It doesn't have a name. The color doesn't have a name, but it is a 16 count Aida as well that I got off of her Etsy shop. And this is another one that's a giant piece. So I do have fabric for days to be able to work on other things, which is good. And you can hear Simba. He has settled very much into being an indoor cat now, but occasionally he, you know, we have a little bit of crying because he does miss going out, and I feel guilty. I feel like I want to let him out, but I don't want anything to happen to him. So, unfortunately. So that was one of my cross-stitch whips. The other one, I only have 2 cross-stitch whips that I could think of since the last time I was on here. And this one I've been working on for the last week. I decided I wanted to rewatch Stranger Things, so I got out my Stranger Things pattern. This is by AlitonEmbroidery on Etsy. It's actually, I'm showing it upside down. It actually goes this way. So, but I've been stitching it this way because I'm working on this guy, which I'm realizing is probably making these stitches the opposite of these stitches since I'm doing it the opposite way, but it's just less confusing for my brain to work it this right side up. So this week I've done all of this fill and this, and then down here. So yeah, so we're getting there. Technically, the white is supposed to stay white. I think I said this before though. I realized after I started it, I probably should have done it on black fabric. So I may end up filling in this and all the white with some black, but we'll see. We'll see how badly I want to do that. But yeah, and this is just on some 16 count white Aida from Michaels. Very boring, but you know, there it is. And I've got a kitten over here. She's walking over my lap. Look at Mitten. Eh? Mitten, look. She's getting so big. Eh? Oh, she's so cute. My little kitten. All the kittens are getting along very well. They love each other. It's so nice to see them cuddling and licking each other and then running around and being crazy cats. So yeah, so that's it for my cross stitch. I do have some plans. I'm not sure whether I should go through everything I'm working on and then backtrack to plans and purchases, or if I should do it by, I'll just keep going. So, okay. So next, my whips. So this, I got this lovely bag from my friend Charlotte. So she gave me this with my Christmas present from last year that we haven't seen each other basically all year. And so she gave this to me a couple months ago. But this ended up being the perfect bag for my sock project. So this went all the way to Greece with me and back. So this is the Crazy Sock Ladies vanilla sock. And I've made quite a bit of progress. Hang on, let me, okay. It's inside out, but this is what I've got. Whoa, needles. This is the magic loop method. So you work it in the round. So yeah, so there's my cuff. And I just started working on the heel last night, which I thought was going to be really complicated. And when I read, I'm just not very good at reading patterns. So when I read the pattern, I was like, I have no idea what this is. And then I watched her tutorial and was like, oh, this is not difficult at all. This is okay. But yeah, so this is just, I have another, this is Pattern, what is it called? Pattern Croy Sock Yarn. It is a super light, I think that's what it's called, super fine, sorry. And this is just from Michaels. So I got one skein, it said one skein per sock. Although this the skein for this sock. Where is it? We're getting down there, so I hope it's just one skein per sock. I'm making size medium, so yeah, I hope it ends up being okay. But I've gotten really into it. I started this the week before I went on my vacation, so the last week of September, and I restarted so many times because I found it really difficult when I first started doing the cuff, not having the big obvious gap in between the two needles. So you do your stitches on both. How it does, you have a certain amount of stitches per side, you split them in half, and you have half on each, and you're working the front and the back, right? So, but then when you have the in-between stitches, because it is joined, if I sound ridiculous trying to explain this, sorry, but you really have to hold the needles close and pull it tight, I found, to be able to avoid having that really obvious gap that shows in between. I'm assuming that when you go to block the socks at the end, that gap here, you can see this gap will be less noticeable, I'm hoping. I guess we'll see. I'm learning, whatever, these are not going to be perfect. I did restart it multiple times, and then I managed to finish the cuff, and I got a good portion of, I don't know what it's called, the ankle, body of the sock done on my vacation. And then I got back and I was looking at it, and I knew going into it, obviously this is my first time making a sock, it was not going to be perfect, but there were so many little errors that, looking at it, I knew when I did the second sock, the matching sock, it would be much better. Obviously, you do the first time, it's not very good, but you get better as you go. I knew that if this one had a ton of errors and the next one was much better, I would never want to wear them because they would look odd and feel strange if one of them had too many mistakes. So I probably did about that much over the course of about 3 weeks, before my vacation, during my vacation, and a few days after. And then I ripped the whole thing out and started over. So this has been the work that I've done since like the second week of October. So about a month. I haven't worked on it consistently. I did take some breaks to work on my cross stitching, but I am really enjoying it. It is really a fun project. It's nice because it's small, it's easy to carry. I have the pattern so I can follow the pattern, but then it's also nice to be able to watch her tutorial. So I'll read the pattern, kind of read it a few times, watch that portion of the tutorial, go along with it, and then I understand the pattern better. I'm assuming the more I'm knitting, well, like anything else, the more knitting you do, the more anything you do, you'll learn to understand the pattern better. So yeah, so anyways, that would be nice. And then I got super excited. This was the week before I went on my vacation. I got super excited working on this, and decided that I wanted to go look at other yarns, and I found a really fancy yarn store / craft store in Ottawa. It's called Wool Time, and apparently it's one of the largest yarn stores either in the province, possibly in Canada. I can't remember exactly. I will link it down below. It is a really big yarn store, and I made a special trip to go out and see it. And they had so much stuff, and I walked around forever looking, and I ended up buying some yarn. So for my next pair of socks, once I actually know what I'm doing, I got this. That's gorgeous. So this is Allegria, and it is from Uruguay, Manos del Uruguay. I don't know if that's a name or if that's where it's from, but it is superwash merino and polyamide. But it's called, and the color is called Cabaret, but I just thought this was gorgeous. It's super soft, and yeah, so if you're ever in Ottawa, Wool Time, they had so many different yarns. and for like every possible project. The main reason I wanted to go here was when I went to get sock yarn at Michael's, they really only had the Patton's sock yarn. That was the only option. That was the only super fine weight yarn that they had, and they only had a few colors. So I did pick this, and it is pretty, and they do have a few nice colors, but they didn't have much of a variety, and I just wanted to look and see what else was out there. So I did end up really liking this. I do like the color, and yeah, who knows, I'm gonna try, I guess, when this is done, to invest in some of those sock shaped things you can get sort of for blocking your socks. So yeah, we'll see how much progress I get on this in the next, hopefully 2 weeks to my next video. So yeah, anyways, so the next reason why I haven't done a lot of cross stitch is because you may remember me mentioning, as I said, my friend Irina and I, we went away for our 40th birthdays, and I have been making her a blanket. So I made for my other friend Sarah, I made her the Martian cross stitch, and I gave her that in August. Over the year I was trying to decide what to make Irina, because I have actually made her quite a few cross stitches over the years, and I was looking to see if I saw any good patterns that she might enjoy, but I just couldn't decide on one. And once I finished the pink and purple granny square blanket that I was making, I showed it to her, and she said how much she liked it. And I had said earlier on, when I started making the granny square blanket, I really enjoyed crocheting, and I'd like to make my friends all blankets eventually. So I told her, I think it was about in August, I said, I'm gonna make you a blanket for your birthday. You pick what yarn you want and I will make it. So she picked the yarn. I sent her, she told me the colors she wanted, and I went to Michael's and I took pictures of different possibilities, and she picked this giant anniversary Karen cake. And I told her, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make you this. I'm only starting in August. Her birthday was mid-October. It's like, you're probably not gonna get this. Well, you're definitely not getting it by your birthday, and you may not get it till next birthday next year. So I'll try my best to see when we can get it. But the crocheting actually went super fast, probably because it was thicker yarn and a bigger crochet hook. So I'll just pull it out over here. But I ended up, it's not done, but I finished all of the squares. So you can see it's a variety of different greens and blues and teals and grays. And I will try to take a better video far away so you can see it's quite big. Just so you can see how large and in charge this blanket is becoming. Hang on. Oh, and we've got my string. This was meant to be a lap blanket. It's getting a little bit large. Not bad for 2 months of work, right? So this should hopefully be done soon. And then, like my last granny square blanket, I am doing the continuous join method, which I really like. I hadn't planned on doing that originally with this one, but I just like how it looks so much. And so I went and got just the same size. It's a bulky weight yarn, a different Karen cake that's just like a variegated gray, dark to light grays. So that's what I've been doing. So I've been working on this a lot because I was supposed to be, even though I knew I wouldn't get it to her for her birthday, I was supposed to be getting together with her on November 18th to celebrate her birthday because I didn't get to see her on her birthday. So I was trying to finish it by then. Unfortunately now our plan to get together that day has fallen through. I'm not going to end up seeing her, but still I'm very close to getting it done. I'm on the last row of adding the granny squares, and then I just have to continue the loop around and then just weave in my ends, and then it's done. So that went a lot faster in my last granny square blanket. So that's been really fun. It's really nice. It's super chunky, soft wool. So it's inspiring me to want to make more blankets because, I mean, in Canada, especially with winter coming, now that it's November, you can never have enough warm, fuzzy blankets to curl up under. So, excuse me, I have a drink. See my Halloween purchase. I don't know if I showed you this before. So, that is everything I have been working on. It's a lot of variety of stuff. I don't usually go in for making big plans because I am the kind of stitcher that I like to do what I like to do when I like to do it. I like joining cells. I like having projects on the go, but I don't like committing to have to do too much because it's stressful and I don't want my hobby to be stressful. But I do have some plans because it is November, Christmas is coming. I was just at the store this morning, told myself November was going to be good for spending, but then had to go to the store to get another Caron cake to finish off this blanket. And of course, then all the Christmas stuff is out, and I really want to do some Christmas stitching, and that will be really fun. And of course, it might be fun to make a Christmas blanket to put out, so that's something to look at. And then I'm like, oh, and this is the first year, I think, in a really long, well, probably since I had my kids, that I haven't really planned out Christmas presents. I have a few things tucked away, but not very much. So I was trying to think, okay, well, is there anything? The last 2 years I planned to make them cross stitches that didn't end up getting done for Christmas, but it was a plan that was ongoing that I was working on towards Christmas. I'm not doing that this year. It's too hard to get cross stitches done. So that's not, but one thing I decided I would like to do, both of them love slippers. So I decided I'm going to crochet them slippers. So while I was at Michael's this morning, I got some more Caron cakes, but 2 different colors. So we got, these are chunky cakes. They are a bulky, is it bulky? No, it's super bulky. This is for my daughter. This was a pretty easy pick for my daughter because she loves pink and purple. My son, I wasn't so sure which one to pick. It was either this or like a rainbow one, but I thought he might like this one more. But anyways, and I'm going to look up some just really easy, free patterns for crocheting some slippers. So that is project number 1. So I will work on that. Oh, Scots. Anyways, I will work on that. I should be able to get, well, more than just a pair of slippers out of this. Maybe I'll also make some mitts or something. We'll see what I can find. But Michael's had 25% off yarn, so that was a good purchase. And then another plan. So I've been watching some Flosstube, of course, and everybody right now is starting to talk about the Christmas projects, pull out the Christmas projects, make Christmas plans. I don't have a whole lot of Christmas projects. During Christmas in July this year, you might remember I finished my Christmas gnome. I do need to FFO it, so that is something I will have to work on. But I don't have really any other Christmas stitching to work on. So I ended up going over to the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and this has been one that I've been looking at the last several Christmases. I cannot remember who I originally saw who did this, but a lot of people have done it. But this is the Christmas wreath. So I purchased this last night. So this is my Christmas. This is going to be my main Christmas stitch that I want to work on. I do have to go through and my all my supplies and see if I have some fabric that might work for it. I do have quite a bit of fabric that I could choose from. It's just a matter of whether any of the colors would work, right? So I should show you over here. I brought up all of my craft supplies and I'm gonna do some organizing after I finish filming this video. And part of that is I'm going to go through and see if I do have a nice piece of fabric that could work for this. And if I don't, I guess I will just have to order some, I guess. But if I can find something and not have to order it, that would be good. But I really love it. It's just so cute. I've always looking at the stuff on the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery website, and there's several that I want to buy, but I have so many patterns on the go and so many patterns that I haven't started yet that I'm always reluctant to buy anything else. But since I didn't have any other Christmas things to stitch, I decided that that was worth purchasing. So that's gonna be my main one. I did realize as well, so I purchased this last night, and when I pulled out everything to organize this morning, I realized I do have a bunch of magazines. I got these last year again at Value Village, and they're all Christmas themed. So I do actually have Christmas stuff to work on. I just have to go through here and see what's in there. As well, oh, hang on. Okay, I'm back again. Here I am saying I have nothing Christmassy to stitch. As well, I forgot that when I was at Stitch North this year, I bought these, some Mill Hill sets. So yes, I also have these to work on. So I am gonna have a variety of Christmassy stuff to work on. So this is good. But yeah, I will have to leave these out so I don't forget about them. And now that I've done this one, I have a little bit of experience. And hopefully get at least one of these done before Christmas, possibly two to hang on my Christmas tree. Here comes another visitor. We got Moon over here. See the blacktail. So yeah. So those are all my plans. I did show you my purchase. I haven't made any other major purchases lately. I do have lots of projects that I would really like to work on. I don't know what I'm really going to work on other than Christmassy stuff. We'll just see how it goes. I haven't made any progress on my Anna Green Gables Sal since the last time I showed it to you. And that's unfortunate because I really did want to try and keep up with that. I got the first of 3 parts done, but I haven't done any more. So who knows, maybe I'll pull that out sometime before Christmas, and maybe not. Maybe it'll be a New Year project. But anyways, so yeah, that was a lot. Sorry, it was a little bit chaotic, but I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad that I filmed this. And as usual, anything I talked about, patterns and whatnot, I always try to put in below where I purchase anything, and you can always follow me on Instagram. Even though I'm not super consistent about filming these floss tubes, I am pretty consistent about showing updates on the stuff I'm working on my Instagram. So, and also pictures of cats, you know, if you're interested. There's always cute cat videos and cute cat pictures, right? So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you're going to work on for Christmas or the holidays, whatever it is you're going to stitch. And I will see you next time. So happy stitching. Bye. Before I disrupt everything and start packing stuff away, I just have to show you this. Look at these two. Mitten. Is Moon smothering you? Oh, aren't you very cute?